cutting-edge technology, and all of you guys are tech people here, and polished delivery, it's easy to create a presentation for your business plan that has all of the elements of the best Broadway shows. It's a fact that the more dynamic your presentation, the more impact you will have with your audience. Now, studies show that people remember 20% of what they hear and 30% of what they see, but in combination, 50% of what's heard and seen. Now, gone are those old days of the flip charts, the overheads, and the slide projectors. Today's modern presenter uses Microsoft's PowerPoint to deliver the bottom line edge, and Apple's Keynote is also a valid contender as well. And just like people used to say, hey, I need a Xerox when I really need a photocopy, everyone's out there saying, hey, I need a PowerPoint to match up my business plan. So, we're going to show you a lot of things about that. The study shows that people use, what, 10% of our brain power, right? We've all heard that fact that says they're just using a fraction. People will probably use only a fraction of the power of PowerPoint. So, we're going to show you how to use it a little bit better for your programs. This is not a class in how to use PowerPoint, nor is it a course in presentation zen, or presentation simplicity, or an execution reprieve. Everyone heard of the book Death by Bullet Points? Something like that. So, this program, about 30 minutes long, is going to offer strategies, tips, and examples to create and deliver great business presentations to complement your business plan, or whatever it might be. So, a lot of times we will see people who have just developed their business presentation and dump it into PowerPoint with enormous stats and charts and tables, and bottom line is there's a difference between a document and a presentation. So we got to keep in mind that there's a difference between what Cherie is doing and what we're doing here. Fundamentally, the message is the same, but there's a big difference in the way it's presented. So, you got to ask yourself, are you giving a document or are you giving a presentation? If it's 75 words or more per slide, it's a document, friends. So, we got to be careful of death by PowerPoint. And so many people have this thought that says PowerPoint is just boring, I'm just put off to sleep by it. But really, a good presentation can help fortify your image, what you're all about, solidify the vision for your company, and really underscore who you are as an individual and who you are as a company. I'm going to ask a couple of questions here. What are some of the most important presentations that everyone does here? Show of hands. Robin, what kind of presentations do you give?
I guess for different ideas and strategies for our company to take, being one.
Okay.
Sales presentations, those are two.
Right. How about anyone else? What other types of presentations do you give in PowerPoint? Does anyone not, by a show of hands, who does not use PowerPoint, I guess? Okay, so pretty much everyone here by a show of hands does use PowerPoint in some way. Yes, no, maybe.
I send a slideshow of the business solution.
Okay, the business solution. Good. And what has been your biggest challenge over time with the presentations that everyone does? Some of the challenges that you face that say, I need to do this better. Give me some ideas.
The design?
The design of it, okay. Any other idea?
Like the engagement?
Engagement, okay, that's a good point.
Making it crisp.
Crisp, and what would we like to do better? Maybe do better engagement and enhance the way it looks. So we're going to show some of this. But the bottom line is, this is an inspirational quote here. If you can dream it, you can do it. There's so much that we can do with PowerPoint. It does not have to be limited to the basic templates that the program involves. And more we're able to think outside the box. The idea with presentation is to bring the world to your audience. More and more, we're not just putting words up on screen. We are showing the viewer what the company is about. This is a portal to bring the company and your vision to the end audience. And we'll show some examples of that. So it's important that we look at our presentation to share the presentation with passion and commitment. That what we're doing out there, so many people will get out there and just say, this is our business plan. But I'm sure Cherie and you guys can say that the personality that you reflect, this has nothing even to do with a PowerPoint presentation. This is all about how do you come across when you're speaking. You gotta be enthused, you got to be focused, you got to be energetic about it, because that's reflecting your enthusiasm. That goes a long way in terms of showing your potential investor that you're pretty serious about this program. We've seen so many people that just get out there and just talk, this is the money we're going to be looking to raise. I mean, it really is so important that we get out there. And
Many people just read their slides.
so many people read the slides, exactly. It's also important when you're talking about a presentation that you're able to scale it for something that could be as long as 30 minutes or longer, something down to 3 minutes. You got to tell me what your elevator pitch is. Presentation with or without slides, or what is that 30-second elevator pitch? Who are you? What do you do? What are you looking for? Where's it going, right? Yes, no, maybe? Okay. Hope he's right. Something like that. So it really comes down, the presentation comes down to the bottom line. What are you looking for? What's the time and money that's involved with the company, and the time and money in creating the presentation, and the value that it's going to provide the viewer or the potential investor, and the return on investment. And of course, you've got to be out there looking good. That's what this whole talk is fundamentally about. Not just the presentation looking good, but you as a speaker, as a business owner, as an executive looking for money. You're out there putting your best foot forward. So that's why it's so important to show it, to show what you're about, to show where you're going. And it's not just putting words up on screen. These days, it's easier than ever to have references, videos, and demos. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This is an old slide, a type of slide that a client of ours years ago would put up there, and so many people say, hey, let me put out this reference about the credentials of a person. Any of you have written letters saying, hey, this guy is quality and he's worth the investment's money? Do any of you have that on the sheets? So a lot of people will simply put that up on screen. And what I'm saying here is, gosh, if somebody's emailed that to you, or given it to you better on their letterhead, why not take that actual letterhead, that letter, and pull out a portion of it? The key words here. This is simply a black screen, nothing even on a template. It's simply a letter from a company. This is actually for a construction company, but a portion of the letter pulled out. Some of this is done in Photoshop. More and more we can use PowerPoint to do a lot of this type of function. But the key message here, this is the same as this, now just this section of the letter pulled out. Another idea, hey, somebody scanned the letter, let's just take out this one sentence to make it viewable. Who said it? This guy. Maybe you've got some certifications and praise from our partners. This is a company that's saying, hey, we're certified to do this. That's so important, and a lot of people looking at their presentations often will skip this. It's just assumed. But golly, these are the certificates that hang on their wall in their office. Show them. Say that you're qualified. Show that you're actually doing it. Or if you've got a LinkedIn account, more than ever, this is probably one of the most effective ways of validating your qualifications. A screen capture, make it interactive. You click here, you go to our site, and this is something that I've worked on quite a while. Say, hey, if you've done something, if you've worked with something, really, it's a whole lot more potent than Facebook in the business world. So make a strong effort to get some good recommendations out there, because that will add to your credibility and effectiveness in the business world. Or
treat each person
a video.
in your company with respect.
This is a short video, but getting somebody out there to talk about who the company is, what they do. Go out there and say, I know this guy, I've worked with this person, she's great, she's got what it takes. Because a lot of times the investors just see you and see a business plan, but if you put something in here, like a video that's running with people that you've gone out there to record, this is a great new modern way to showcase the qualifications and credentials. If any of you have software, if any of you are developing a program that you're looking to finance and get funded, do a screen show. Do not just talk about it, but show it. Camtasia Studio, anyone use it? It's a program out there. By the way, I see a lot of y'all taking notes here. We're going to make this presentation available probably for download, and I've got business cards in the coffee break room, beer room later on, so we can take business cards. So go ahead, take notes, but this is a program here. We've got our website and presentation team that has a lot of content as well for information. So it's not just this one shot that you'll hear, but also, hey, go ahead and do a live demo. There's nothing wrong with breaking away from your PowerPoint and actually going into the presentation and the the demo of what it is that you're doing. Anyone here actually looking for financing on a computer application or something? Right, go on. What kind of app is it that you do?
It's a healthcare application.
A healthcare application, right? And do you ever show it when you're actually speaking with a investor?
We're currently in development.
Okay, sure. But putting something like that together is a
show it.
good way to really demo what you're talking about. It's not just hypothetical. This is real stuff. So that's why a live demo is real good. Photos of your team, if you've got a small team, is great. This is a photo montage that was created very easily in a program called Picasa by Google. Anyone use Picasa? It's a free tool. And the idea here, this is for a company in Boston, that this is their team. They're out there. It's a small group of maybe about 20 people in their organization, but they said, hey, we've made it to second round funding, and I want to just show you the enthusiasm of our team. It just shows that they're a different type of company. Put that in there. It doesn't have to be dry and boring numbers. It can really, I would hope, reflect the brand and image of your company. So, another key point here is to limit those long bullet points. This gets back to what I was saying earlier. So many people, you've seen presentations like this, right? Oh, let's just dump all of our information up there, and we're going to talk about this, and this. So, okay, this may be a document, but another way of showing this is to say, let's split this up into 5 separate slides. We're going to talk about our company location, our description, our business model, our core technology, and the initial array of information. And so each one of those slides that was previously on here has a separate PowerPoint slide. So it moves through. Instead of spending 5 minutes on this one slide, we're spending 1 minute on each of these slides, or maybe less. Keeps the audience's attention. There's no problem in keeping a lot of presentation slides in here. Anyone have an idea how many slides we've run through already in this since I've taken stage here?
35?
Probably about 40. I think we're right around that. But a lot of people are like, oh my God, you've been speaking for just a few minutes, and here you are racing through slides. Here's another example. Currently in the B2B market, this is an important type of thing about not just splitting the text up, but really reworking the wording here. And so the concept here is currently in the B2B market, software AG, So we've got this, the message, and what we've done here is, first of all, we've taken this top bullet point and combined it with the headline. You really want to try to be as minimal as possible on the text. So how do we find ways of saying this? So we're talking currently in the B2B market, software AGs, B2B web methods, trading network market. It's basically the same thing. Here's point A, and then the next slide, here are the challenges that they're facing. So pretty straightforward, pretty bland background, but for the most part, the messages are clear, right? Instead of being overwhelming. Here's another great example of the policy, and we're going to go through a series of steps that we took to enhance this slide. And I'm sure a lot of people will do stuff like this. First of all, you got a lot of information. They're talking about their quality policy. Maybe it could be related to something that you might have with your business, where it's going, and some of the key processes and vision. So their quality policy, we're focused on developing long-term, So we're going to say that we're taking this first bullet. This is a key point up here. And we see so many people who are taking their headlines and just making fragment headlines of 1 or 2 words. My thought is that we should have a tweetable top headline that summarizes the slide. Not everybody agrees with this approach, but I'm really a big fan of really summarizing the message in 10 words or less. So I'm combining this bullet point with this and saying, what is this really focused on in these 4 bullets? So here it is. A quality policy focused on building strategic relationships. That's really what it means. And then we've got these 4 bullet points. This is, a lot of people would look at this and read it, but my point here is, okay, you got your sentence up here, let's make these points into fragments. Okay, so we're looking at this, implementing and adhering to robust processes. Well, it's quite simple to cut out 50% of it just by saying robust processes. Training and keeping busy, this came from here. It's just a lot of unnecessary verbiage here. If you're reading it, that's great. But again, we're presenting it, so we're talking to the point that we're training and keeping busy. So those 4 bullet points have been reduced to 4 shorter segments. Now, taking one level more, we're creating graphics using Presentation Smart Art. So the images, they can animate one at a time, 1, 2, 3, 4, with the key points. And then after this, we're putting in a light background. So you can see how the slide is dramatically improved and really giving a much more professional image of what the company does and what their strategic relationship policy is all about. Make sense? Okay, here's another example of another strategy of cleaning up presentations. I'm sure we've all seen presentations like this type of thing. All right, so this is contaminant and maintenance. May not really be related to business plans, but I'm sure you could integrate your own type of thing in here. So we got contaminants and maintenance, legacy toxins, created and grown, and then radon. So the idea here is that we're going to say, slide 1, contaminants and maintenance. We've got this, this, and this graphic, which was really these, I think, am I correct here? No, you know, what it is here, we're showing top level bullet, 1, 2, and 3. And now it's top level bullet, 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to drill down. So this was talking very high level. And we can think about it, I think I've got a slide coming up. Think about it the way our smartphones work, an iPhone. And, you know, you're looking at a high level menu and then drilling down. So in that level, we're saying, let's talk about these 3 contaminant maintenance type of things, starting with legacy toxics. And then your bullet points for legacy toxics come in. And then created and grown, and very subtly in the background you can see that same graphic that was used for the smart art image. And then the third one is radon, and this explains it. So again, it's a whole different shift in the way we're looking at slides and saying that it's information presented on the slide, moving through at a quick pace rather than spending 5 minutes on that one blue background slide. Make sense? Okay, and this really comes back to what I was saying about headlines in our slide. This is probably the most tricky part, and Cherie, you could probably help me out with this. How do we create headlines that really summarize what we're talking about? So many people would just put something up here that says intro, but as a writer, I'm sure that you're much more articulate in being able to come up with the key messages here. So instead of saying intro, we might want to say something like, we're a cutting-edge technology company with solid ROI and growth potential. That's the intro. That's what we're talking about. I'm not going to show you here what we're going to cover. Or, another example, hey, here's our team. Big deal. Instead of saying our team, we can now say, we've got experienced leaders and committed professionals. A much more dynamic and dramatic intro title. And here's our investment opportunity. Kind of two-dimensional, pretty straightforward, but it could be enhanced by saying, a financial plan to deliver a solid return. That's it. And this really kind of kicks off that section. Nothing's really changed with the bullet points or graphic. We're just really retooling that headline. And so how do you get these ideas? Where do we get inspired to make these headlines? It's all around us, more and more than ever. Listen and look, you know, with tweeting and headlines more than ever. People don't have the time to read giant articles, but short sentences in Twitter can be a great source for us to be shifting the way we write our headlines. So looking at Twitter. And when Twitter first came out, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to consolidate all my words into that short 160 character type of thing. It really took a lot of work, and take it from someone who's 5'4", shorter is better in your headline. So, another example here of a good before and after example of some headlines. So instead of saying key initiatives, and this is a great example using smart art, each one of these would have been a graphic on its own, but we're just giving a title here. So instead of saying, here are the key initiatives, how successful will we be in 2009? Here's some of the things that's going to make it happen. Make sense? So a good engaging question and a good approach. Safety record. Okay, it's it's numbers. There's no way around the data and the facts and numbers. But we could say, instead of a title that just says safety record, a proud record of safety. This is what we've done. Look at how far it's come. So it's much more engaging with that headline. Now, again, it's reiterating a lot of what we said, a lot of what Cherie talks about. Avoid all unnecessary words that you can find to help the page more appealing and easier to understand. How could we say this better? How could we
Avoid
say
unnecessary words.
Exactly. Avoid
Condense.
unnecessary words, right?
Condense.
Condense. Oh, even better, right? Condense.
Aggregate.
Aggregate. Sure. So that's kind of the key thing here more than ever, because the presentation is not the star of the show. You are the star of the show. When you're speaking, it's your company, it's your vision, it's your mission. Most of the time, this is here to support you, more and more I'm saying you don't even need the presentation, which kind of contradicts my business focus, but a lot of times just say, hey, this is a conversation, and this is here to support what you're displaying in information. So, a couple of other points here, and we'll wrap up with questions. Feature your finances creatively. This is a great way of really showing information that's out there that's a little bit more than just